Hello everyone, my name is Veer, and in the previous video we have seen how we can create different work item types in Azure Boards. Okay, so this video is continuation with the previous video. So in this video what we are going to see is how we can plan our work details, then how we can manage our iteration, and how we can perform sprint planning activity using the Azure Boards. So I'll quickly flip to my project that we are created, or we had added few tasks in the last video. Okay, so these are the different work items listed over here. Okay, so first of all we will see how we can create work details. Okay, so the work details refers to your working days, your capacity for each person who is part of your team. So all these things you can set it in Azure DevOps. So we will see how we can perform those activities. So the first thing that we wanted to set is working days. So for that, what you have to, if you can see, there is an option for gear here. So you have to just click on it, okay, and it will give you an option. Then you have to click on working days, and here you can specify which are your working days for your teams, like Monday to Friday. These are the standards by default selected, and if you wanted to have a change in those work details, you can change it by selecting that particular checkbox, and you have to just click on the save and close. So these details or these working days will be considered to build your capacity and burn down different chart. So basically these are the settings required to uh, create different reports that Azure by default provides you. Okay, so I'll not make any change. I'll just click on save and close. Okay, so this is the one thing that has to be performed in order to perform your work details, or to add the work details. The next thing that you wanted to add uh, is to have the capacity. Okay, so let me show you that as well. So if you click on sprints and go to the capacity tab, here it will list down all your users. Okay, all your users in the sense who are the part of your development or your this particular project, agile project. So currently there is only one user. That's why you will be there. That's why you can see only one user listed. Okay, and you can send invite to your team members, and they can be part of this project. Okay, so those will be listed over here, and here you can find an option to assign type of activity that user is going to be performed. That means he's going to develop, to create, write a requirement, to perform a documentation, or that is he's going to perform a testing. So different roles basically you can assign to that particular user, and the capacity per day. That means the user is working 8 hours a day or 6 hours a day, so that you can specify over here, and you can just uh, save this detail. Okay, so these are the two things that you can do for your adding your work details. Then if that particular user is going to take a leave, so you can add that as well over here. Okay, so that is the option for you. So now we have seen the first part, that is plan work details. Now let's see how we can manage the iterations. Okay, so I'll just click back on backlogs, and let's see. Okay, so here you can see on the right hand side there is an option saying planning. Okay, and you have listed down all the iterations: iteration 1, iteration 2, iteration 3, but it is not yet scheduled. We have not yet added any user stories or work items to this iterations. So if you wanted to add more iteration, I'll show you how you can add those. So the first option that you have to add the iteration is to click on this new sprint and give a name to sprint as say iteration 4. You can specify start date, end date, and click on create. Okay, so this is the first way to add or to create a new sprint. I'll not save this detail. I'll just click on the cancel. This is the one way. The next way, that the way you can create a iteration, is you have to just click on project settings. You have to go to the project configuration, and here you can see the iterations listed over here. You can just click on new child, give the iteration name, and save and close. Okay, so you can see the iteration 4 has been created. So this is another way to create a iteration. Now let's go back to Azure Boards and go back to backlog. Okay, now sorry, now what we will do, we'll just uh, go and plan few iterations. Okay, so if you click on iteration, it will show you the iteration over here, and you can set the date for that particular iteration. Similarly, if you click on iteration 2, it will get changed to iteration 2, and you can have an option to set dates. Okay, so let me show you that we don't have any work items like taskboard. On taskboard as well as on the backlog, we don't have anything. So what we'll do, I'll just go to the backlog. Okay, what I'll do, I'll just move this user story into iteration 1. So what I'll do, I'll just click on this, I'll drag it and drop over here. So if you can see, one user story has been added to iteration. I'll perform the same and I'll add it to the iteration 1 again. Okay, sorry, I'm adding the same user story. I'll add another one. Okay, so you can see the two user stories has been added to iteration 1. What I'll do, I'll take up the next user story and I will add it to iteration 2. Now I will perform the same for the third iteration as well. Okay, now you can see all the iteration will have some user stories added to it. Okay, now if you wanted to set a start and end date for end iteration, what you have to do, you have to just click on that, and here you can see now that the user stories are listed in that particular iteration, and here you can just go and set the iteration start date and end date. Say for example, you wanted to start this particular iteration from say uh, 7th of December, and it will end say by it will end in 2 weeks, that is by 18th of December. You can select that and click on save. Okay, so it will show you the number of working days. Similarly, you can do it for the second iteration as well. So let me open up the iteration 2 page and we'll do the same things. I think there was some network glitch. That's why it has taken some time to load that particular page. I'll perform the same action for the iteration 2. So let's say it will start from 10 to 21, and if you can see now the second iteration, it has automatically picked up 8 days, 8 working days for your start and end. Okay, now let's see the same thing for iteration 3 works or not. Okay, so I'll just click on iteration 3 and I'll select the start date. See, it has automatically picked up a next Monday and 8 days from there, and it has created it a sprint or iteration start and end date. Okay, So this is about, how it will look in the backlog, or how you can, create the iteration, add the user stories to iteration, plan that particular iteration. Okay, now I'll demonstrate you how it will look on a task board as well. Okay, so here if you can see, a task board has been, it displays you like a, a card. Okay, for each user stories. If you can see over here, and these are, different statuses in which that particular user story can flow. Okay, it will be at the new stage. Like whenever you create a user story, it will always be into a new state. Then it can move to active, that means the person is working on it. Then it can go into resolve, that means a development work is completed, and then the developer can mark that particular user story as a result. And once, the code has been checked in, it has been tested, and we can mark that user story as a closed. Okay, so these are, different states in which that particular user story can flow. So you can see over here all those details. Okay, say, so I'll just for, your reference, what I'll do, I'll show you, another way to, create a tasks for your uh, user stories. Okay, see, this is another view called as boards view. The same, same activities you can see over here. Okay, and but the difference between uh, this view, that is the sorry, the task board view, and the boards view, is that it will list down uh, user story along with its task. But on boards you will be able to see sorry, on boards you will be able to see only the user stories and what are the tasks under it. Okay, so there is another way in which you can, add the task to user stories. Okay, I'll show you that. Here you can see three dots. You have to just click on it. Okay, and here you can you'll get an option to add a task, so you have to just click on it. So what are the standard tasks that we added for each and every user story is like analysis, then we have a code review, then we are having a design and development, say, then we are having writing unit test cases. Okay, so just to give an example, this is another way in which you can create a task for a user story. So if I open that particular user story and see the linked items, all the linked items has been created. Okay, now we'll do the same for the next user story as well. I'll just click on, you know, you cannot only create a task, but you have option to create a bug or a test for this. Okay, so I'll just add the same things for another user story as well. Okay, and you can transition one user story from new to active to resolve to closed. Okay, and here, you can have a task, and you can mark it as a, complete from here itself on a board. Okay, and on the boards view you have an option to view it as a backlog as well. Okay, so it will basically list down all the user stories. And you can, if you wanted to move a user story from one state to another state, you can just drag this card from one position to another position. So it will automatically change its states from new to active. So just to, give you a demonstration, what I'll do, I'll just move this particular, I'll assign this first to myself. Okay. And then I'll just move from new to active state. Okay. See, now that card has been moved from here, and you can see that state has changed to active. And if you wanted to mark one of the tasks as a started, so you can just go to that particular task. You can say the tasks to be active. You can give the description, what you're going to perform, and whatever the analysis that you had performed, you can write it over here. So I'll just mark it as save. So now that work item is in active state analysis. You can mark it. Now the everything is completed, you can mark this as a completed. So you can see a one strike over there, and that particular task, uh, there are 4 tasks, out of which one task is completed. Okay, so you can have each and every history of your task along with uh, basically linked to a particular user story. So it will help you to track each and every activity. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you. Thanks for watching.